my most amazing artists. Today we are going to look at one of my very favorite holiday books, because it's not really about Christmas, I guess. It's called Gingerbread Baby by Jan Brett, and I absolutely love her illustrations. They are so gorgeous. I think she uses gouache and watercolor. Watercolor is translucent. That means you can see through it. Gouache is like watercolor, but it is opaque. That means you can't see through it. So in order to do a lot of these lighter colors, she probably does gouache, because you can put white over something with gouache. With watercolor, you can't. All right, let's take a look at this amazing book. And it's really long. So, I mean, not long like it takes forever to read it, but it is kind of long for the camera. So, I'm not going to read this book because it actually is kind of long, but I did want to show you some of the illustrations that I think make it really special. Mrs. Brett, she uses the sidebars of the book to show you what's going to happen next. Here's all the tools for baking gingerbread, and gingerbread goes back hundreds of years, maybe even 1,000, I'm not really sure. It's a very, very old sweet dessert. It can be in bread or cookie form. Here is a copper cookie cutter with a knob, and you would push this down into the dough and then lift it up. Here's a rolling pin. This is just a cylinder of wood, and you can roll out the dough, press it flat like you would with Play-Doh. So here they are. They're going to make gingerbread because it's very cold, and gingerbread is a wonderful holiday treat. And you can see here that they're going to get out the cookbook and look at the special recipe. Unfortunately, Maddie, the little boy in the story, does not wait long enough for the gingerbread man to cook. And so since it's not cooked all the way when he opens the oven door, it's actually a gingerbread baby in this book, which is really cute. And he comes to life just like the gingerbread man story. And he sings and runs away. Here he is, running through Maddie's father's legs and out the door. Now, Jan Brett loves the northern countries, the Scandinavian countries like Norway, Finland, Sweden, and a lot of the illustrations you'll see in her books reflect that. Very traditional folk art kind of motifs everywhere, which I think is really fun. The gingerbread baby runs all over town, getting into all kinds of trouble. And in the meantime, Maddie has a plan. He has made something else out of gingerbread. The gingerbread baby taunts everyone, you know, catch me if you can. And of course, they're not able to, even a fox. He jumps into a can of milk, and the whole, basically, village goes after him, trying to catch him. Well, Maddie has made a gingerbread house, and the gingerbread baby wants to go home, so he runs inside. And then Maddie grabs up the house, and the villagers are like, what happened? Someone must have eaten him. That's what they think happened. However, you see on this little sidebar, Maddie leaving with the house. When Maddie's parents get home, they see he has a gingerbread house, but they don't know about the secret inside. And this is the best part of this book. It's got a little flap you can open, and inside is the gingerbread baby. And he says, I'm the little gingerbread baby, lucky as can be, to be living in the house that Maddie made for me. So let's talk gingerbread, friends. Today we are going to make a craft which traditionally uses glitter. But I know a lot of you probably don't have glitter, so I have a great alternative. All right, boys and girls, this is a gingerbread cookie that I made as Christmas presents for some teachers and friends of mine. And as you can see, the gingerbread is a brown color, and this cookie was baked. It was cut first and then baked, and then I put special icing called royal icing on it, which is made with egg whites and sugar. Then I dusted some of the icing with sugar crystals. So I have right here in this little thing here, I just call it sanding sugar. and I just sprinkled it on over some of the wet icing, and it made it all sparkly and beautiful. So we're actually going to be using sugar today instead of glitter, because I know not everyone has glitter. You can get it at Walmart, but a lot of parents, and that's myself included, know what a pain this is to clean up, and sugar is a lot easier to clean up. So we're going to work with sugar today. Oh, I might want to eat this cookie here in just a second. All right, for this, ooh, sorry, my camera is moving. For this project, you will need either your imagination or cookie cutters. I have got the one that I showed a lot of my friends in my classroom. This is a traditional copper cookie cutter. It's very large. It's a teddy bear. It's got a handle on the back, so you would press this into the dough and then lift it up and you would have your cookie. So there's that one. And then I have another, this one's made out of tin. This is obviously a gingerbread man. We're going to use the gingerbread man today to make our project. If you don't have a gingerbread man cookie cutter, you can just draw a gingerbread man, and I'll show you how to do that too. All right, you will also need some paper. You can use brown construction paper, which I happen to have, or you can just use some white paper, copy paper. Honestly, the best thing would be is to find the thickest paper you can, because the glue, you know, if you use really thin paper, the glue makes it really wavy. So, first things first, you need the paper, you need crayons, you need glue. You might need scissors. It just depends on if you want to cut it out. You don't have to have scissors. And you need sugar in a little container and possibly a spoon. A spoon makes it easier to apply. You can just put sugar in a little cup from your kitchen and then bring it to your art studio, wherever you're working. All right, so let's get started. The easiest thing to do is obviously to trace the cookie cutter instead of drawing the gingerbread man. So I'm just gonna grab since this is dark paper, I can choose a dark crayon or a light crayon. I'm just gonna grab this blue. It's actually easier to trace the outside than it is the inside on most things, but you probably won't have the same cookie cutter as me, and it will just depend on your cookie cutter. You might try it a couple of times if the first time doesn't look very nice, or you might even use a pencil so you can erase, because I probably should have done a pencil, but that's all right. Okay, so there's that. Now, if you don't have a cookie cutter and you want to make a gingerbread man, you can take a piece of paper, and I'm gonna fold this one hot dog, but you could do hamburger too, it doesn't really matter. Fold it in half, and you will need scissors for this. Then you're gonna draw half the gingerbread man on the fold. You don't wanna draw it over here where the paper's open, because we're actually going to be cutting around this so that both sides will be symmetrical or equal. So I'm going to start with the head. So I'm just going to draw a circle, then the arms, and I'm going to come down and draw some legs. Okay. So instead of having to worry about both sides looking equal, which is really hard to do, friends, especially in a mirror image kind of situation, I'm just going to cut this, which is usually the best way. I have hiccups. I wish I had some smaller scissors. These are really big. That's okay. Make do with what you've got. If you start having a lot of trouble moving your paper, just cut part of it off. Get it out of the way. Okay, then when you open this, ta-da, you've got a gingerbread man. And it's equal on both sides, and you didn't have to draw it, which was pretty awesome. All right, now let's talk about decorating our gingerbread man. I'm going to look in the book for ideas. Books are so great for ideas. So let's look at our gingerbread man here. He's got some holes poked in the dough to show where his overalls are. He's got peppermints, some kind of a red, maybe a gumdrop, a raisin, and I think these might be marshmallows. So I'm going to use that inspiration for decorating my gingerbread man. So I'm going to start with, let's see. I'm going to start with a brown crayon and see if it will write on the brown paper for the little dots for his overalls. Oh yeah. So I'm just kind of looking at this picture and then drawing it here. I also want to think about where I want to put my sparkly icing. Now remember, I'm not going to be using glitter today, so I want to think about places that I can put the icing. Let's see. And here's the end of his pants. I hope I'm on the camera. There we go. All right, now let me get the white, and I'll do the peppermints. And I'll go ahead and do the marshmallows too. Can you guys see that? Let me move the book out of the way. Make sure this is on the camera. Okay. So I'm going to color the white in. That's probably going to shake the camera, sorry. All right, then for the peppermints, I need red. Make sure your crayon says red on it, because a lot of the crayons in the crayon box look red and they are not red. They're like red violet, so you're going to get like a purple color. And oftentimes peppermints will have a thin line, a thick line, and then a thin line. So in order to make it real, that will help you a little bit. And he's got this nose that looks kind of like a gumdrop. So I'm going to use the white to put a little bit of an accent on it, like a little bit of a shine. Okay, then we've got our raisin eye, and he's winking the other eye. So I'm just going to do 2 raisin eyes. Let me get black for the raisins. Or you know, use purple, because raisins are kind of like a really dark purple-y, blacky color. There we go. Now when you do the raisins, color them, but don't color them really hard, because raisins are kind of shiny too, so you want to be able to put some white accents on there. All right, then he's got a little smile. There we go. Okay, so now we are ready for glitter. So we are going to use glue just like we would traditionally with glitter, and we're going to use sugar. It's going to be a little different because of the properties of sugar and the properties of glitter. Glitter's plastic. It does not get absorbed by the glue. The sugar will absorb the water in the glue, so we're going to have to lay it on pretty thick. I'll show you what I mean. So I think I'm going to do the... Now don't lay the glue on really thick. I will say that. Do the marshmallows. I'm trying to use the tiniest little pieces of glue that I can. Dots. Maybe I'll give him some glittery hair too. Okay, make sure you righty-tighty your glue after you're done with it. Then I'm gonna open my sugar. I'm gonna get my spoon, make sure you can see this, and I'm gonna use this to lay sugar over the glue. Now, if you'll notice, already I can see the glue through the sugar. That means it's absorbing the sugar, so I need to go back over it again. You might have to do this 2 or 3 times, but don't worry, sugar's cheaper than glitter, so it's okay. Also, do not reuse the sugar. You'll see your teacher reuse glitter, but we don't eat glitter, so that's okay. But don't reuse the sugar. Again, you're gonna start to see the glue coming through the sugar. Okay, when you are done and it's fairly well covered and you're not seeing a whole bunch of the glue come through, you're gonna hold your paper in a U shape. And look at that, we can already see. Look at that. And I'm gonna dump this sugar in the trash. If you just have special sugar for glitter making, you can reuse it, but don't eat it. And look at that, friends. We have a gingerbread man with glitter, but we didn't have to go to the store and get glitter today. How cool is that? All right, well, I will see you next time for more art fun.